Hinduism. Where do I start? Let's start with the story of their creation. How the universe was created. The story is a little bit different compared to us. So, Shiva is their main god. From Shiva created Vishnu. And from his belly came out a lotus flower. And inside lotus flowers, that lotus flower, when it blooms, came out Brahma. And Brahma was the one who created the whole universe. So you get it? So God created another God, and from that second God came out another God. From this third God, the universe was created. Very strange. So the creation created the universe. And one day, Brahma, he lost after his own creation. There's a woman he created. And he was looking for her all the time because he was so in love with her. So that's why Brahma actually has five faces. After that, Brahma and Vishnu, the second god, had a race. There's a like a column fire. So they were racing to see who can get to the top first. But Brahma cheated. He told Sunflower to give a false testimony about he how he get to the top of the mountain first. And and then of course they found out he was lying. So now Shiva got involved. Shiva got mad because for him, first of all, Brahma fell in love with the his own creation. So that's for him is immoral. Secondly, the cheating. So he what he did, he cut one of his head off. Well, not head, but it's like face. So now he only left with four faces. That explains, if you check with the Hindus, not too many of them worship Brahma. Even though Brahma is the one who is responsible of creating us all. But the problem is, according to the story, Brahma was immoral and a cheater. Can you have a God who's immoral? Can you have a God who is a cheater? Can you imagine if you had a God who is a cheater and immoral, like Brahma? This is unthinkable if you're a Christian, even if you're a Muslim. But this is Hinduism. That's why this is one of the stories that when I was looking at religions, this is one of the stories from Hinduism that for me is problematic. Very, very problematic. Hinduism always changes. Never the same. Used to be Trimurti. But now, because of Abrahamic religions, now they wanted to be like Judaism. They wanted to be like Christianity. They wanted to be like Islam. So how to make Trimurti one. They cannot just copy paste the story from Christianity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So they created different story. Hinduism is not that old, like people say. Those old style of Hinduism are all gone. Hinduism today is not the same like 4,000 years ago because there was no Hindu. Hinduism is just um, a collective of paganism in India. And as such, the teachers, all these Brahmin, they try to connect all these religions, all this paganism in India, in Hindustan, and somehow they got connected. So they feel like they are in one or under one religion, but they are not. They are not. That's why the celebrations in any celebration in Hinduism not celebrated by all Hindus in India. They all have different celebrations because they are not actually the same religion. It is not one religion. And then there's another story that is stuck in my head about Shiva. Um, for those who don't know, Shiva is actually god of destroyer, and he is one of the most revered in Hinduism. I mean, the Hindus they worship Ganesh, they worship Kali, one of the goddesses, very strong goddesses, and this goddess is very strong, and her name is Kali, and Shiva is one another one. I see Hindus worship a lot, or many Hindus worship Shiva, and like I said, Brahma. As for Brahma, not too many of them worship Brahma. Maybe millions, a million, 2 millions. I don't know. I don't have the number, but it's very, very small amount. Now, the story about Shiva. Shiva had a consort. Well, he has many consorts probably, but one of the consorts, her name is Parvati. So Parvati created a boy. Why she created a boy? She created a boy from turmeric and clay. And clay, yes. They copied this from the Bible. And clay. Sorry. Why I dare to say Hinduism copy from the Bible? Because Hinduism doesn't really have the oldest um, written like anything like older than maybe 1200 years old. And even their temples, any temples you can see in India, all of them are built within the last 2000 years. So nothing over 4,000, 3,000, like that, 5,000, no, nothing. And their documents, nothing over 1,200 years old. This is very strange. If they claim to be for 4,000 years, there should be a temple like as old as the pyramid in Egypt. Some pyramids like 5,000 years, 4,000 years. But Hindu temples, nothing, nothing older than 2000 years. I can assure you that. And the Hindus will tell you, oh, the Muslim conquest, they destroy these temples. Okay, they did some a lot of destruction. I don't doubt that. But think about it. How come they only destroyed the older ones? How come the one from like 1500 years old ago still there? Do you understand? So it seems like all the old ones vanished. What? The Muslims only destroyed the older ones? No, it's impossible. They don't, back to the story. So Parvati created a boy. Why she created a boy, you ask? Out of love? Nope, not out of love. Because she's lonely? Nope. Because she needs someone to guard the door while she's taking a bath. Yes, that's the reason. She created a boy from clay and turmeric because she needs someone to guard her door while she's taking a bath. Why not just lock the door? I don't know. I don't know. This is very strange. So basically, this little boy, because he's consort of Shiva, so this little boy considered as Shiva's son. So one day she was taking a bath and the boy was guarding the door. Shiva wanted to go in. The little boy didn't let him. Shiva got upset and cut his head off. Just cut his head off. And Parvati got out. What are you doing? That's your boy. Shiva was surprised. And then he ran looking for animal. He found a little elephant. He cut the head off and put the elephant's head on the body of the boy. And that's how Ganesh became, came to be. This is the problem. If Shiva had the power to do that, why didn't he put back the head, the little boy's head, the original one, the human head, instead of elephant head? And secondly, elephant, doesn't matter how small the elephant is, the head is still humongous. The head is like too big for the body of a little boy. And you think this this kind of weird story stops there? Nope. Later on, there's a Sach. His name, what was his name? The Vaipayana. The Vaipayana Vyasa. That's his name. The Vaipayana Vyasa. He created the story of Mahabharata. Mahabharata. You can Google it. This is Mahabharata is one of the most important book in Hinduism. He created the story of Mahabharata. And who was the scribe? Take a guess. The scribe was Ganesh. The boy with the elephant head cut one of his tasks, used it to write. So he became the scribe of Mahabharata. And this is just a couple of stories that I found from Hinduism that is funny. So funny. But the thing is, the saddest thing is about the story of these two stories, more than a billion people believe it. More than a billion people believe this. And this is the saddest part of the story. People who believe in this kind of story. Very, very sad. Sometimes I talk with the Hindus at work because the Hindus seems to ask God, their gods for anything. So if they want their kids or their children to be smart, they will pray to Saraswati. They will do puja to Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. If they want to be rich, if they want to be different God for everything, different God for everything. And yet India remain as one of the, I don't want to say lost cause. If you go to India, it's just so dirty and just so poor. A handful of smart people in India cannot do anything about 1.4 billion population of India. They cannot do anything. Not just economy, just everything. How they make the Ganges River so dirty, yet they call it holy. They throw everything into that river. The river has no fish, probably. No fish can be alive in that kind of dirty water. Every river in, especially Ganges, it's just so disgusting when you see it. And people take a bath saying the hot water there will purify them. If the river is so holy, they should keep it clean. This is what makes me sad, confused back then. Why is it like that? So I talked to many Hindus co-workers at work. Since they ask many of their gods and goddesses for everything, I said to one of them, I said, excuse me, mm, if you just want to get rich, to be rich or to be more successful, you don't need God. If you want your children to be smarter, you don't actually need God. Why do I say this? And I am a Christian. I pray. I believe we have to pray for everything, for every direction we need to take. But at the same time, not for that, not for richness. Why? Because I said to them, if if I were you, if I were an Indian who live in India, I don't need to pray for this because all I need to do is just to take a look at China. Wait, those people, they don't worship my gods. How can how come their lives are better than ours? People from Taiwan, people from South Korea, Singapore, Japan, they don't worship our gods and goddesses. How come they are better than us in everything? How come? It is like what in Quran. Quran says, if you follow Allah and His Messenger, you will be successful. And do you see them successful? No. Pakistanis follow Allah and they need to get out to make money. Bangladeshi, they follow Allah, most of them. But they need to go to Canada to make more money, to be successful. Muslim from Gujarat, India, they believe and follow Allah and His Messenger. And yet they need to come to Canada, UK, Australia to be more successful. This is very strange, right? Look at Indonesia, another big Muslim countries or Muslim majority country. They're not doing that good either. Anyway, that's the I just wanted to share about Hinduism today. And I hope if you are considering Hinduism and all this, I hope you will read the story first and then see if you think the story makes sense. Not some, like I said, making sense sometimes. A lot of miracles don't make sense, but the story has to be consistent and aligned, and you know, like what I mean is like Shiva as the main god. How come he got so mad because he was not allowed to get in? And he was so mad and he just cut the little boy's head off. Is this the God you want to worship? Brahma, cheating, lying, immoral. What an immoral God. What a liar. This God is a liar. Do you want to worship this kind of God? Allah tells you, if you follow him and his messenger, you will be successful. But yet you need to immigrate to be safe, to be more successful, to have a job opportunity. So Allah is also a liar. Do you want to follow this kind of God? Thank you for watching and listening. Whether you're a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Muslim, a Jew, or a Christian, God bless you all. Have a nice life.